This is Point, and you are listening to my pies Seleção podcast.
Simões bending one for Torres. Eusebio. Oh my word! Have you ever seen anything like that?
Bem jogado por Simão, a passar por dois adversários. Simão a tentar oferecer o gol a Figo e a bola é gol! O gol da Figo!
Rui Costa já acreditou, vai tirar para o golo, atira o golo! 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 Cristiano Ronaldo, vai embora Cristiano Ronaldo! Mete! Chuta! Gol!
And we welcome you to a very special edition of the Seleção podcast. We, of course, are a proud partner of Portugal.net and now a very proud partner as well with Pama Media, and we'll get into that a little bit later on in this episode. But this episode is all about Portuguese problems. How many of us have them? I think we all do, whether we be first, second, third, fourth generation, or if you're in the mainland or in the Azores or in Madeira right now. But a brand new show coming to the many outlets of RTP, starring the Portuguese kids, among others, as well as our guest, our friend. We welcome back to the show our good buddy Taylor Amarante. Taylor, what's up, dude?
What's up, man? How are you?
You're busy, huh?
Dude, that was quite an intro there. We all have Portuguese problems, man. That's a fact.
Yeah, we absolutely do. First off, man, since we've last spoken on the pod, obviously the last few weeks have been crazy. The last few days have been crazy, but you have since gotten married. You now have a young little girl, just about 6 months or so. How has that part of your life mixing in with all the other stuff that you obviously you have all this free time? How has that kind of brought it into another kind of aspect of your life?
Sure, man. Hey, first of all, thanks for having me, dude. Always a pleasure to chat with you, Danny. And as always, I appreciate what you do, bro. And I'm obviously a huge soccer fan, so I like to follow, especially on Twitter, or I guess I don't know if we have to call it X or not, but yeah,
call what you want, man.
Yeah, fact. But thanks for having me, man. As far as the last few years have been wild. My wife and I got married in the thick of COVID, man. And then last year in August we had our first daughter, Galilea. She's freaking amazing. She's about to be 6 months. Man, you know what? Time management has been bananas. Like I'm the most tired I've ever been. I feel like I'm the oldest. Well, I am technically the oldest I've ever been right now, but
good call.
Yeah, I feel like, but you learn that first is your child, right? Comes first. You do everything you need to do for them. And then that other time after that, you need to figure out how to balance jobs, passions, projects, etc. And you just hope you have a spouse similar to mine who's understanding, who also works and has experience in the gig industry and the arts. And so we look after and support one another best we can. But she's been instrumental, bro. She's a huge piece of why I was able to even do the TV show, why I was able to travel and the touring the last bunch of years. Like, she's been amazing, dude. So, and I'm not just saying that to say that. She's been awesome, bro.
No, man, it's a wonderful thing to have a support system in whatever you do. But when it's something that you're passionate about, I mean, you have so many hats in the ring, dude, with Quakes and your stand-up and now this TV show and touring. That takes you in different directions, and sometimes depending on who you're with, that could be a detriment, or that could be a something that you need the support from from your loved ones, and I'm glad that you got that. I got that in my case as well. with my wife and the kids and everything. So it's good. It's good to have that, man, in your background. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's big.
In case you don't know who Taylor is, and I'm going to go right off of the stuff that I've pulled off the internet. Taylor Amarante is a Portuguese-American stand-up comedian from Santa Clara, California, who's been touring alongside the Portuguese Kids since 2014. The son of Portuguese immigrants from the island of São Jorge, and I have a funny story from São Jorge for you later on in the show. Yeah,
put some respect on it, bro.
I know, buddy. It's the respect. Respect's a funny word to use in this. Just go with it, but you'll hear. And some of the folks on the podcast already kind of know where I'm going, but anyway, Taylor's comedy and storytelling shines the light on what it is to be brought up in a crazy Portuguese family, and of course, you've mentioned it outside of the stand-up and the touring. Taylor is the longtime in-stadium host for the San Jose Earthquakes of Major League Soccer. And of course, he's very much involved in his Portuguese community. So did I get all that? Anything? TaylorAmarante.com. You see all the socials on the bottom of the ticker if you're watching us on Instagram on YouTube. And Taylor, first things first, but again, congrats on everything. But how did Portuguese Problems become Portuguese Problems? What was the nexus of this thing, and how long has this been kind of in the works?
Yeah, so great intro, by the way. So the Portuguese Problems, how this all started. So I've been touring now with the Portuguese Kids for 9 years or so. Like, we've been doing shows all over the place together. I've seen these guys continue to grow. They're incredible people, incredible human beings, incredibly talented, witty, insightful, and funny human beings. And they've always just thought of, wow, this is so great right now, what we're doing. This is so great. What's coming after, and then boom and boom. And, with starting with the live shows and things they used to do earlier in their career, and then getting into the more of the social media side as well, when some of their viral videos were so enormous, and now everybody loves them on Instagram and so many different platforms. But then they always had this hunger for something else, and they were so creative and talented that, we always knew, well, gosh, I wonder what it could be. And then they had this idea, and they started talking about it. And then, I want to say COVID time, a lot of talk started that, Derek and Brian were in talks with RTP, and for the opportunity to film and at least pitch a pilot of an episode of what they'd like to do. And so I'm not exactly sure how much details I can continue to give, but one thing led to another. They assembled a cast. They called a bunch of us. I'd say 90% of us have toured together at some point in the last decade, right? Obviously Mike Rita from Toronto, from the Canada area, super funny guy, hilarious guy. He's great on the show. He plays some really good characters. But myself, Portuguese Kids, and then the ladies as well, they're super talented. Chantel and Vanessa and Grace, and have all done things as well with the Portuguese Kids to some degree. So anyway, they assembled this cast. We filmed. So man, we were okay. Well, the pilot episode anyway. They filmed. We put it all together. They got Dean Camara, who is with NFL Films. He's got a couple of Emmys. He's an absolutely incredible Portuguese American dude. Not just for the filming and the production and the directing that he does, but the person he is, culturally, spiritually, working with that guy was something, man. And so they assembled this great crew, put together this pilot, sent it to RTP right around the time we were also touring. We got to tour, the opportunity to tour in the Azores. At least the first time I got to join them for that tour. And then, man, one thing led to another. RTP really liked it and told us, film a whole season's worth. Like, boom, laid it all out for us. So we went to work, man. And for a year and a half, 2 years, whenever we were touring anywhere that was within the scope of scheduling the crew, because it took a lot, man. Like there's so many different things that go into it. It's wild, but when we had shows in California, we'd fly everybody out because we knew we'd all be in one place together. Boom.
Sure.
And from makeup to lighting to directors, producers, blah, blah, blah. So we'd get to a city a few days early. And the same thing went with the East Coast and with Canada. Wait, was it Canada? No, maybe just the East Coast. But also in the Azores, they filmed as well some. But man, whenever we were touring, we would get to that city, whether it was East Coast or here, a few days early, film long days, back to back to back to back. Then came Friday. Sometimes we'd even film a little bit. But then Friday we'd have a show. Saturday we'd have a show. Sunday maybe we'd have a show, or we'd fly out. And man, it took some doing. It took some doing.
It sounds like it, brother.
Yeah, sorry, I went on a total rant.
No, you're good.
So boom, then the whole season was done. It took a ton of time to edit, package all that, etc. And then RTP got it, liked it, set it all up, man, ready to go, and said, here's what we're doing. And we got everybody on board, dude. And it's been a wild ride. The last few days has been wild. Yeah.
Well, it's Brian Martins, Derek DeMello from the Portuguese Kids, also Vanessa Madeiros. She's been working with them for quite some time.
Awesome.
Awesome. Mike Rita, who just had his stand up on YouTube a couple of months back. A hilarious human being. I'm very much looking forward to seeing his involvement. Chantel Arial, and is it Pinhacos or Pinhaços?
I believe it's Pinhaços, but it's funny because sometimes on the East Coast they pronounce names differently than we do here, even though it's Portuguese names. So don't quote me on that.
All right, and of course,
also great.
Taylor Amarante.
Yes, sir.
Bring it up the rear there on that one. But the one thing, or not the one thing, but something that, like, for me, doing something on a much smaller scale like this podcast, though, you have to have a sense of pride being involved in something this big about what we grew up with. It's got to be wild to think that something like this has kind of come to fruition, and you're involved, like, on the ground floor. That's got to be crazy for you, man.
You know what, man? Yeah, it is. And it's funny. It's funny because some people would just be like, "Oh yeah, you're right," and get into this all this poetic, nonsense and gobbledygook. But to be real with you, man, I didn't really know just how much this was going to mean to me until some of the messages I got from friends overseas, family overseas, friends and family in Canada, people all over the US that we've met, just people who have seen what we've done and seen. Look, I've been touring with these guys for quite a few years, but these guys have been, excuse me, sorry, with the camera there. These guys have been in the game for a long time. We're talking 20 years. Like, they've put their lifeblood into this thing, and to see this get to this level, regardless of what happens next and where this takes them, because I still think there could be even much more than this for them and for us, hopefully, who knows. But I'm proud. I'm proud to be a part of it. I'm a super proud Portuguese person. Like, I have a lot of pride, and especially the Azores, Portugal. It's not just soccer and bifana. It's something inside of you, and to be a part of something that, whether everyone likes it or not, they'll be able to see, feel, relate to. Like, maybe you don't like my stand-up, or maybe you don't like me as a person, or maybe you don't know who I am or what I am, but I'm a part of these stories that you, as a first, second, third generation, the whole diaspora will relate to and understand. And we finally get a voice, and it's something that, like, we can watch and that younger generations can watch and laugh at, because they're like, oh my God, Ava, that's just like you. Or, oh my God, oh, that's happened to me, because it's going to happen. There's some scenes in there where people are going to be like, holy shit, So yeah, I'm dude. And yeah, I'm excited and I'm nervous, but a good nervous, you know?
Absolutely, man. And thank you for the text during the trailer, because I was trying to figure out, making sure that I heard everything in my headphones. Hopefully you guys were able to hear it. If you're hearing this and you didn't hear the trailer, there will be editing, guys. Just relax. Everybody's having a good time. Everyone's having a good time. Go to facebook.com if you didn't hear it. Go to Taylor's Instagram. Go to Portuguese Problems on Instagram. It's all there. And if you haven't seen it already, what the hell are you doing anyway? So anyway, there. It's a 6-episode. Yeah, go ahead.
When you were looking, I was like, I don't want him to think I'm like texting on a podcast or something. I'm down here, but
but you were texting me.
I know, but you know what I mean? Not like, someone else.
So it's a 6 episode series. Starts Monday, the 18th of March. So it's coming up just about a month from now. And you'll be able to see it on RTPi Internacional, RTP1, and RTP Play. If you have the good fortune, like Taylor does, of living in the San Jose, Santa Clara area, you can watch it for free, right?
Santa Clara, you can. San Jose, I think. I'm not sure. Santa Clara.
At least in Santa Clara.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do, you know what? I do recommend get the RTP Play app. It's free, it's clean, it's organized. Dude, you get access to all the RTP channels. Like, this is my plug for RTP Play because I have the app and it's phenomenal.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So we've got the series. We've got, the premiere date, but there are going to be a couple of actual like red carpet events for this kind of kickoff of this huge project. There's one coming up this coming Sunday in San Jose. I believe there's one in Toronto as well. What can those who are lucky enough to be in attendance for these red carpet events, what can we expect to see from the cast and the presentation of the show?
Yeah, so we have Sunday the 25th, we have a premiere in San Jose, California, so just down the street here, which you'll be attending.
Yep, looking forward to him and humbled for the invitation, really, man. We're
going to have to share a cup or two, since you told me before we started recording that you'll be staying down in this area.
The boss doesn't know that yet, but hey, sure. Yeah, maybe. We'll see.
Oh, wait, the boss? I thought I was talking to the boss, man.
No. I mean, like my actual make a living boss, but it's fine. No.
Ooh.
Yeah, but
hey guys, enjoy my appearance on this show because this might be the last time. Anyway, we have that Sunday the 25th, and then the following Friday, the 1st, I believe it is, we have a premiere in Fall River.
Awesome.
And then on Sunday we have a premiere in Toronto. Sandwiched in between there, we've got a big show in Danbury, Connecticut, and the night before the San Jose premiere, we've got a really big show in San Diego this Saturday.
Vocês nunca para, dude.
Well, dude, I mean, now this thing is, we're doing a little bit of, this is kind of how it goes, right? Here comes the show, and we're trying to promote it and stuff,
How does it? And I know we kind of touched on it a little bit, but given the huge Portuguese communities here in the States and in Canada, huge here obviously in California where we both reside. You just mentioned Fall River, the New England area of the United States. Mike Rita is a huge success in the GTA, Greater Toronto area, but in these pockets of North America, how big is it for you to share this with such a huge immigrant population that has grown up either with, you're not going to cry, are you? You got all, I could see in your face. You're like, oh man, I didn't really think about that. But seriously, man, like how
that's
big?
Hilarious, dude. That's hilarious. I did maybe have a moment. I might.
Yeah, you just a moment of reflection or something. But I mean, it's got to be huge for you to be able to share what we've all grown up with so many people here in North America.
Yeah, it's cool, man. It's there's two parts to it, right? the first one is just being able to share that with people, and some people maybe don't know how to tell a story or don't know how to remember or relive a memory, and sometimes maybe this might be their kind of vessel for that. But the other thing is that's really cool is myself and Dean, who we talked about earlier, who produced it. We're both from California, so we're the only ones on the cast from California. We've got Mike from Canada, and then the East Coast is a lot. Everyone else is based. So I also feel a cool responsibility to like represent the West Coast Portuguese community as well in this.
Very cool.
Yeah, so it's unique to me and to Dean and I, because we're both from California, and we're like, hey, we get to put a stamp on this too, just like Canada is, and the Massachusetts, that whole area is like, it's cool, man. So we feel that.
Awesome, man. How long have you been doing stand-up overall?
I've been doing stand-up for, I'd say it'll be 10 years in May.
So maybe a little bit before getting on with the Portuguese kids and touring with them.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. And I don't know if I ever asked you this on the times that you've been here, but like influence wise, like who did you kind of maybe not channel, but just fan of and kind of maybe get the inspiration from? Sure.
So honestly, I have a lot of comedians that I really enjoy and really looked up to all my life. And then sometimes some get added and some fade, it's like anything. But one thing that really, really influenced me, man, if I can be honest, from a very young age and still to today, I watched Saturday Night Live since I was a small kid. My parents were like, I would try so hard to stay up. And when I got a TV in my room, I had one of those little square TVs with 13 channels. The remote control like went into a hole into the TV when you were done using it.
Oh, yeah.
I would try so hard on Saturdays. We'd come home from like a Portuguese festa or something, and it'd be like, oh, my God, like I'm going to get to watch SNL. And if I was home too early, I'd try so hard. My mom would come in my room. I'd be asleep with my remote, and I'd have a little watch set. And if I woke up, I'd watch it. But SNL, to me, it was, I thought a lot of great comedians were on that show, and they were versatile. They ended up going on to do a lot of great things, but also the improv and figuring out that these guys were doing this stuff week to week. SNL was huge for me. But stand-up, I have a few. I'm a big Robin Williams fan. I liked he was just crazy, man. He opened my eyes to like being able to have one person stand on stage without an instrument, without a band, without a background, without anything, and just tell stories and capture people in a story and
command the room, right?
Yeah, and get wacky to the point where this guy's pouring water on himself, or he's totally drenched and he's going, and people don't care how sweaty he is or how cuckoo he seems because his stories are lightning, like I thought that was really cool growing up. Yeah. So I'd say Robin Williams, but other than that, I mean, now I have quite a few stand-up comedians. I'm a big Sebastian Maniscalco fan.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, and it's partly because I can relate to him.
100%.
Portuguese people, I think Latinos as well. I think a lot of these types of folks can relate. So it's like what he's saying is about his Italian family, but you might as well sub in Portuguese people, and it's the same.
Well, it's just the immigrant story, right? I believe he's first generation. I think his dad from Italy, Sicily, whatever it is. But we can all relate to that, just coming from the homeland parent, and then us being the first, second generation of that parent making their life here. We can all relate to those crazy stories about with Maniscalco. It's his dad is going to like a department store and trying to haggle for a fridge. It's like, no, what's the cash price? Yeah, I pay cash.
Yeah. Like, if you have a chance, read Sebastian Maniscalco's book. I read a lot of these guys. They do their autobios or their like stories. He's got a great one. If you're ever on like a flight or something, you can knock that thing out. It's a great read. But he talks a lot. When you're reading it, you're like, me specifically, I read his book on an airplane, and I looked at my wife when I was done, and I was like, I've never read a book that made me feel as relatable to this person as what I just read from the comedy. I mean, the guy played soccer. There's a lot of weird things, and then the way he started, and then it's just But I like him a lot. I like who else do I like right now? Oh, I like Nate Bargatze right now.
Yeah.
I also like.
He's so like Nate Bargatze is like just so
casual.
Yeah, it's a very casual. Not from going like from he is the opposite of Robin Williams with still the comedy, because he's very just like unassuming, just very like almost like, I don't want to say simple because his comedy is so fucking genius.
But in a way,
but it's just like it's just a normal conversation. He's not really telling jokes. He's having a fun conversation about whatever it is, and he's great too. Yeah,
I feel like there's a few. I'm always into like Gaffigan too, guys like that. Brian Regan. Like there's guys I enjoy listening to. There's a ton. It's tough.
Yeah,
and it rotates because sometimes their first stuff is great, and then you're like, well, I've heard this guy kind of tell stories for a while, and then you look for the next one,
Maybe you're the next one, bud. What do you think?
Oh man,
huh?
We'll see.
Folks, do I know how to goose them up or what? Huh?
Dude.
So let's step away now from the comedian side part. You're now approaching what year as the in stadium host with the Quakes now?
Damn.
Is he counting his fingers? Let's see.
I was counting my fingers. I think it's 7.
That's awesome, dude.
Or wait a minute. Goodness.
Say 7. Don't say a lesser number now.
Yeah, I think 7.
Ride with 7.
I think it's 7. Well, does that COVID year count? We did the show on NBC Sports.
Listen, man, we all survived the COVID year if you're watching or listening, so that counts. And honestly, COVID year felt like 2 or 3 years, dude. So you might be on year 10.
You know what sucks is people were so into learning things during COVID, and now people are like, all right, back to whatever. Like,
all right, back to 2019 when I didn't know shit, and now everything's done for me.
People were like cooking, people were knitting. The guy was playing saxophone on the balcony of his apartment. Now, if that guy played saxophone on his apartment, people would be like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, or he'd forget the wreath and to put it in anyway. So it's like, we were learning a lot in 2020. So
about each other as well.
Some would say learning too much.
True.
Learning too much. But
anyway. I don't want to get too dark down this street
let's not go there. Let's not go there. This is not the Zé Rogan experience. But
but also there's a lot of great things going on with the Quakes, right? We're gonna have a good season this year.
Yeah, we're gonna try. We're gonna try to have a good season. Yeah. So I mentioned at the beginning of the episode, the podcast is now being carried on Palma Media in their various outlets too. Nelson Light and Sylvia Costa reached out to me a few months back, and try to gauge my interest on having the pod be part of the Palma Media family, which we are awesome. Just a wonderful opportunity to get to more people. And you're hand signaling for what, man?
Is this like the formal announcement?
I have not mentioned it on the pod until right now.
Bro, am I just blowing it today?
No, you're not. No. This is good.
We're gonna go to the VAR on this.
This is good. No. This is good. Since my last episode, because I usually try to do a end of the year pod. And it just, it's wintertime. My kids were sick. I got sick. Everybody got sick. So I was just like that. I just never had an opportunity to have because with the national team, Taylor, it's like I can't do a show weekly. I'm just, of course, I'll run out of material, or it'll get stale, whatever. Of course. So I wasn't going to then do an episode just for the sake of saying, oh, hey, I'm on a new platform, but I am on a new platform. I'm still with Portugal.net. Nelson Late reached out to me and wanted to see my interest in having the pod, and Sylvia as well. And it's a great opportunity. It's the beginning of what I hope is a very, very long partnership with them. And mentioning with the Quakes, I'm gonna try my hat on the Portuguese language side of things at play-by-play on a few games. So
Yes, sir. Hey,
we're gonna try that out and see what that entails, and I'm looking forward to that as well. So,
hey, congrats, dude. Hey, and
appreciate that.
Super excited about that. I'll be seeing you at the stadium. You know, I'll probably come up there and bullshit with you guys from time to time, like I do with Nelson and them, and I might peek in the door and like throw something in there at you guys, and then it's gonna be good times.
That's real professional, man. I'm glad you feel comfortable doing that. Being
here's the thing, man.
Being there for now 15 years as the in studio or in stadium host.
I'm the mayor of PayPal Park, man.
That's it's not bad, not a bad gig, dude. Not a bad gig, yeah.
I do want to say this is a disclaimer. I'm not the mayor of PayPal Park. No, I'm kidding. Just
I guess I'll edit that out.
Hey, all of a sudden I get a text. Retract your last statement. Love PayPal. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it's not Venmo Stadium. It's PayPal Park, and we're loving that. We're loving that. But
dude, I think it's going to be great, man. And I'm excited about the Quake season. I'm always excited about the Quake season. I think we picked up some good pieces here. I think we still need a couple more, but I'm excited about where the direction of the team. Our new coach last year got us in the playoffs year one. Can't ask for really more than that. I mean, you can, but you'd be a fool to think it wasn't an improvement. So I'm excited, man. And I am missing the home opener, which is a big time bummer, but I'll be in the East Coast for the premier events.
Some mayor of PayPal Park.
Yeah, I know. Hey, but if you check my attendance,
can I be the vice mayor?
Huh?
Can I be the vice mayor on days like you're not there?
You never know.
Yeah, I'll just shake hands. I don't have to get on the microphone. I just be like, hey, how you doing? I'm the vice mayor.
Shake hands. Hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? Hey.
Well, and then obviously and then signing Bruno Wilson from Vizela, an actual Portuguese player. I know that the team has a few Brazilian players, but actually having a Portuguese player this season's got to be very exciting for the community as well.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. And it's funny, like when you're down on the pitch or you're interviewing players and you hear so many of them speaking Portuguese, it's unique, like you've got your Spanish speaking contingent, you got your Portuguese speaking contingent. But yeah, having somebody from Portugal, mainland Portugal, continent, if you will, I think is a plus. The Portuguese community would love a player. Obviously, it's not as easy as that. It has to fit into the right scenario for a lot of different reasons. But yeah, it's great that he's here.
Yeah, season for the Earthquake starts this weekend on the road in Dallas, and then the home opener on the 2nd against, I believe, the Galaxy. So on March 2nd over at PayPal Park, a big game always for you specifically for what you do with the Earthquakes is always Portuguese Heritage Night. That's going to be Saturday, July the 13th. Who's the opponent? Do you know off the top of your head?
Oh goodness, is it Sporting? Is it Sporting KC? You know what? Is it Sporting KC?
I'm clicking. It is Sporting Kansas City. Yes, sir.
Yes, I was afraid I was not going to nail that, but
you nailed it, bud.
Wait, now I was going to try to check the schedule. Now I can't get back to the.
You're good. You're still here. I still see you.
I see you too.
Yeah, I see you.
My girl, I was like, the guy who messed up the podcast.
No, that would be me. Probably every episode, but July 13th. It's a Saturday night, which I think is huge too, because a Saturday game, a Sunday game, usually you don't need, and for the lack of a better term, you don't need a gimmick to get people out to a game on the weekend because, people are working during the week. It's harder to do that during the week. And I think even during the week that maybe and correct me if I'm wrong, but a weekday game was part of Portuguese Heritage Night, maybe at the infancy, maybe, and maybe not just with the Quakes, but maybe even back east, but whatever it is, to get a weekend game is huge. And obviously the amount of Portuguese people living in the Bay Area, specifically in San Jose and in Santa Clara, it's huge to have it on a Saturday. And what year, and I'm asking you all these questions that I probably should have gone and asked you prior to, but what year is this in terms of Portuguese Heritage Night? Is it probably 6 or 7 as well for you? Because are you the originator of PHN?
Well, I know there's a lot of different thoughts on who's the originator. I know the Quakes, we had the first ever Portuguese Heritage Night of any team we know in California. I don't know. I know back east, there's a lot of teams now all over the U.S. who do it. But when we started, this is year 12 now.
Wow.
When we started, nobody, we were really launching the cultural celebrations aggressively at the old stadium. And man, up until then, we weren't hearing about Heritage Nights. So we don't want to put the crown on or anything, but we were kind of in the front there. If we weren't Rudolph, we were one of the reindeers right behind Rudolph. Who knows?
Well, if you want to crown him, then crown him. That's what I say.
Yeah. About the weekday thing. So the one great thing about the Quakes is we have never had a weekday PHN. It's always been a Saturday or a Friday, but now for the last 7 years, it's always been a Saturday. I think some of the other teams have, and a lot of the times is that, if the Warriors or the Giants or the A's or the Sharks, if they have their Heritage Group Night or Heritage Night on a weekday, it's because, they don't need help selling out, weekends, and they look to kind of find groups for weekday nights, and that's fine, but it's probably tougher on folks with kids in school to make those games. So we're blessed that we have ours on Saturdays.
That's awesome, man. Again, that's July 13th, Saturday night. Get your tickets. Go ahead.
And we have a really cool announcement regarding where the after party this year will be located also. It's going to be great.
All right. Stay tuned for that. I'm going to put the link to get tickets for the PHN on July the 13th in the show description. You guys can access that, whether it's on YouTube or on any of the podcasting platforms that you guys are listening to. It's a big soccer year as well, as we are, we're both fans of the Portuguese national team. Without having any concrete dates in terms of what you may or may not be doing with as the mayor of PayPal Park, could we maybe see or have some viewing parties at PayPal Park this coming summer for our beloved Seleção?
You know what? I always will try to get to get us that opportunity. It depends on a lot of things. Whenever the United States is competing in a tournament, there's a lot of political things that go into how stadiums can show these games. I don't know if you're probably pretty fluid with that, but then they'll show the World Cup games. The Euro, being that USA is competing in Copa simultaneously, I believe, competing in Copa America, I'm sure there will be some big time Copa America viewing parties. TBD on Euro Cup. However, don't ever rule it out. You never know. But we will be hosting viewing parties for the Euro, and I already know of one that we have committed to host that we have not announced or put any promotional stuff out on, but we can let you know right now. That's the Portugal-Turkey game on Saturday. Let me see here. I believe it's June. Saturday. Goodness. Sorry. June 22nd at noon. I believe it's noon Pacific time. So on a nice hot Saturday, Casa de Benfica, we're going to do it up huge like we've done in the past. We've hosted some massive viewing parties there before. But yeah, that should be a big game. It's game 2, I believe, in the group stage, and probably our toughest opponent of the group stage. So big one.
Your thoughts on the proposed jerseys for the Euros, specifically the away one, because that white one is fantastic. The
white and blue azulejo theme,
yes,
away kit, dude. That's a fucking 10 out of 10, bro. That's 20 pop 6, bro. That's to me.
Can't be doing that. I'm about to drink water, dude.
That kid is legendary, man. Like that thing, I guess now this is Nike's last go until we swap up for Puma, I think it is.
Correct.
And I have to say, I love the away kit. The home kit leaves a little to be desired. They kind of infused the black. I'm kind of curious at what it's going to look like. I mean, it's a little more basic. And I think the Portugal red home should always be pretty classic in a way, but yeah, I like the white one a lot, and the red one I'll like if we win games.
A gentleman who we've had on this podcast many a time, Eric Vieira. He is the unofficial, I think, commissioner of the uniform police, and he's big on saying this: jerseys, when you see them in concept, it's always one thing. Once you see them worn, that's when you get the real feel for it. So, I think, like, just based on the concept, I'm loving the away one with the white and the Portuguese tile. When you have the quote unquote home jersey, it's kind of hard to mess that one up, or kind of hard to, make it different. But that's when you have a little bit of fun with the away jersey.
That's true.
So 2 summers from now, you mentioned the World Cup, 2026. I'm gonna use the FIFA terminology here. The California Bay Area will be hosting 6 matches, 5 group matches, 1 knockout match. That will be held at Levi's Stadium, or as FIFA will call it, I believe, Bay Area Stadium, because I don't believe Levi's is a sponsor that FIFA does business with. And I'm not joking. I don't think they will call it Levi's Stadium. But Santa Clara, you call Santa Clara home. You've been in the community for a long time. You have a love for the sport. You have a love for our national team. You're heavily involved with the MLS. But buddy, the World Cup,
I know,
pretty big.
I know. Let me start by first saying this: the Lord has smiled down upon me. Okay, because all things considered, I'm not a Niners fan myself, right? I'm a big Steelers fan.
Take it easy.
I'm being honest. I'm not a Niner hater, but I'm not a Niner fan. But when that stadium came to Santa Clara, I knew, okay, wow, well, there'll be great events there. I've been to great concerts there. I've been to amazing soccer games there. But to think that the World Cup could have 6 games there, and that stadium is close enough to my house, if I threw a paper airplane in the air and a strong wind caught it, maybe it'd get there. That's how close I can dream that dream, because it's down the street. We're wondering, is Portugal are they going to somehow, on an act of God, get some games at Levi's? If so, or Bay Area Stadium. If so, that would be berserk, because I'm going to try to go to Portugal games wherever they play. But I'm also trying to be involved with the coverage of the Cup. Sure. I've been in talks with a few organizations and groups to maybe see if there's a way that I can cover that those events for them. And simultaneously, man, I'll be hosting huge viewing parties and huge Portugal-themed events here. I'm not going to let that World Cup pass by in my own backyard without just going big and getting the whole community involved, man.
Yeah, and our luck, they'll be playing in Mexico or Canada.
You know what? And if they are,
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna try to go, dude.
Hey, I can drink tequila and watch Portugal play,
buddy. I can eat a smoked meat sandwich and have a Molson any day of the week. Yeah,
Molson and some poutine. Let's go.
Absolutely. Let's go. A little street meat out in the GTA, dude.
Hey, I'm making a comment on street meat.
Listen. It's what I was told it was called. It's delicious. For those in the States, it's a hot dog.
That's funny.
It's a hot dog, maybe a sausage. I don't know. Anyway, we're finishing up here with Taylor Amarante here, as again, he is part of the cast of Portuguese Problems. You'll be able to see Portuguese Problems on RTP Internacional, RTP1, and RTP Play beginning Monday, March the 18th. Part of the very talented ensemble cast that's gonna give us a lot to not only laugh about but be proud about. Being immigrants and first and second generation Portuguese Americans, Portuguese Canadians, wherever you're at. Make sure you guys tune in for all of that. You're on my podcast right now. Next month, the proverbial we, the royal we. You're launching your own podcast, right? What kind of details can you give us about your you need another project, bro? But I mean, why don't you take a break?
I was trying to think of things that I can do close to home, because now I got to be near that.
Smart man.
I'm kidding. This is something. So I had a live show that we kind of just threw together when they locked everyone down back during COVID, and we just started shooting this live show. And everybody was at home. We'd have guests on it, and Luzo's on lockdown. It was fun, and tons of people tuned in. It was a great time. And then after a bunch of weeks, we just stopped, and then we never revisited it. But we always had wanted to do the podcast. I interview players and personnel. I love to interact. I love to storytell. I love to, learn. And so I've always had this void of wanting to have my own show, my own podcast. It doesn't have to be, the Late Show or anything, the Late Show with David Letterman or anything like that, but something where I can bring people on that I think are interesting, insightful, and fun. Tell stories, interview them, put that out there and see if people find it, that it's for them. So yeah, man, on the mic with Taylor Amarante, we're going to launch it in March. Fingers crossed. We're almost there. And yeah, man, it's going to be fun. We'll have to get you on the pod.
Oh, well, I appreciate that. Thank you. From the vice mayor to the mayor, I greatly appreciate that. Is there like a direction you want to go with the pod, or is it just pretty much like, one time it could be, if you have me on, one time it could be soccer, and then you have someone else from the entertainment industry, and have a guy like Mike Rita who you guys can talk about, stand up and stuff. Is it going to be just like a hodgepodge of kind of what you're interested in?
Well, I think what we've kind of zeroed in on are 4 pillars that I consider like 4 pillars that I am always interested in and invested in, and that means something to me, and that's family, adventure, culture, and entertainment. So beautiful. I feel like the guests and the themes will fall under those 4 categories, anything from comedians and television and that sort of thing, all the way to people in my own family, or, we'll have segments on, a lot of Portuguese type stuff as well, but also athletes, politicians, some people you may know, some people you may not know. But I think maybe these people are important enough or have a story that's cool enough to tell that I think you should know them. Well,
if anyone can do it, man, it's you. You're a super talented dude, but hard work kind of supersedes that. You're nothing but a hard worker. Yeah. So that combination of everything, dude, it's no surprise you've had the success that you're having right now. And again, brother, just all the best to you. Congrats on everything. Is there anything that we did not cover that you want to kind of get out there before we say adeus?
You know what, man? First of all, thanks again for having me, Danny.
Absolutely,
always great. Yeah, man, just watch, if you find the time and you find it inside yourself, watch Portuguese Problems, download RTP Play, or watch it on RTPi or RTP1. And I hope it speaks to you the way, doing it spoke to us. And we, if you like it, if you don't like it, whatever, but check it out and see if there's something for you there. Other than that, I'll leave you with this, Danny. It is 2024. It's a big year politically, and it's just every year it feels like it's a big year. So no matter who you're voting for, no matter what you believe in, just go out, vote, make sure your voice is heard, and without going too far any which way, just do the right thing. Boy, lastly, my little 6-month-old wanted me to send a message.
Oh, her handwriting's really good.
Yeah, she's actually reading and writing at a 6th grade level. It's special.
Look at that. I mean, she can. There's no.
Well, wait a minute. That's
we all. I think we all. I think we all do, pal. I think we all do. Taylor, all the best to you, brother. We will. I'll see you on Sunday. And man. Just all the best to you, and congrats on everything.
We're having a drink on Sunday, brother.
We're having a few, brother. We're having a few.
Cheers.
All right, man. You got it. But that was Taylor Amarante of Portuguese Problems, the new series that is going to be premiering on RTP Internacional, RTP1, and RTP Play. If you're watching us on YouTube, you can see all of the socials where you can find Taylor. If you're not, you can find him on Instagram at TJstagram. On Twitter /X, you can find him at TJ Amarante, and you can go to his Facebook page, facebook.com/Taylor Amarante comedy. And of course, Portuguese Problems premieres on Monday, the 18th of March, again on RTP1, RTP Internacional, and RTP Play. My thanks again to Taylor Amarante to talk to us about this new project of his. And obviously, we wish him all the best and the entire cast of Portuguese Problems to see what this series comes to fruition on March the 18th and what comes of it after that. So my thanks to Taylor. My thanks to you for watching, for listening here on this special edition of the Seleção podcast. We, of course, are a proud partner of Portugal.net and Pama Media. And as always, Força Portugal!